Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing? I hope that my signal is good. I'm in a hotel and don't always know what you're going to get when you're in a hotel. But I wanted to come in and share some things with you that I'm thinking. Um, Acacia, hello. How are you today? Thank you so much for coming in with me today. Um, what does it mean to be desperate? Carrie Ortega, thank you for coming in and sharing with me today. Yes, this is an impromptu. I told you all I'm going to do more of the impromptu thing. I'm hoping that my connection is good. Wednesdays, I'm thinking I'm going to try to do Mondays and possibly Wednesdays. Those are pretty good days for me. Um, but I was thinking about being desperate is just completely unproductive. And I can't do anything about all this sun shining in my face, so forgive that. Being desperate, is my signal good before I continue? Is my signal good? Being desperate is completely unproductive. I get a lot of questions from men and women alike. And a lot of times we have women that, you know, want a man so bad that she's willing to bend over and twist her morals and her values up and lose herself trying to win a man. And I'm trying to say, well, being desperate is completely unproductive. What am I to do? You know, if I'm not going to have a man, what am I going to do? Then you flip the coin. You have a brother that looks great on paper, and he wants a certain, woman, but she doesn't want him back. And I'm talking about, it is a lot of sun in it. I'm talking about a lot of this tonight, where we're talking about the war, between men and women. He doesn't realize that society has conditioned her not to want him. She doesn't realize that society has conditioned him to desire something, um, or y'all know what I'm saying. I'm getting confused. But my point is, to be desperate is completely unproductive. Any man that is desperate for a woman is not going to, watch this, model the masculine energy, even though he looks good on paper. He's not going to model the masculine energy that's going to be necessary to really attract that woman. I mean, he can check all of the boxes on paper, this, and this. But if he's desperate for a woman, she's not going to feel the kind of masculine energy. Oh, there my girl is, the T on NPD. I love you. I was thinking about you. I have to connect with you because I want to do something. I want to do something with you. But thank you. I love you. Thank you for supporting me. He's he's not going to give off the kind of masculine energy that is going to be attractive to that woman. If a woman is desperate for a man, she's not going to give off wife energy. Wives are not desperate. And so when you find yourself getting desperate for anything, what happens is you attract, your desperation is actually attracting to you the very thing you do not desire. Because what is desperation saying to the world? If I'm desperate, desperation says I lack self-love. Anybody that's desperate, that's a person that does not love him or herself enough. if you haven't found a reason for living that's bigger than a man or a woman, you really haven't fallen in love with you enough. And anybody that does not love themselves enough will always leave yourself open for abuse. You know, talking about narcissism, on a narcissistic abuse. Well, that kind of spirit plays on people who don't love themselves enough. When you love yourself enough, here's what self-love does for you. Self-love empowers you to fully and completely appreciate the presence of a decent and healthy individual. I mean, you fully embrace them. The moment that person turns toxic, the same energy you had towards receiving them and loving them is the same energy that you will have in terms of dismissing them from your life. Self-love allows you to receive people, and it allows you to dismiss them. When you lack self-love, you become desperate. And when a sick, toxic, predatory society sniffs out desperation in you, it pounces and takes advantage of you. The best thing you can do for yourself right now, if you are desperate, I'm just writing here, so forgive me for looking down. The best thing you can do for yourself right now, if you're desperate, is to seclude yourself. You need to seclude yourself. You need to be isolated. Why? It's because you are presently in a mode where you are self-destructive. Desperation is self-destructive. When I become desperate for anything or anyone, I have put myself in the position to be completely managed and abused. And when by the time the world is done with you, you will have been completely misused and managed and twisted to a point that you won't even recognize yourself, because desperation is completely unproductive. Your desperation is going to leave you in a place where you're not going to like yourself. You're not going to hit your marks. You will never attract the people or the things in life that you desire. The Bible admonishes us to be anxious for nothing. You know, I've learned in my life, even things I want, goals I want to reach, things I want to accomplish, I've learned to be patient. Because patience is a virtue that rests in the soul of a person that is in tune to God and in tune to him or herself. I don't need to be desperate for anything. I can be patient for everything, because anything outside of God and me does not define me. So watch this. If I never have, if you cannot handle this statement I'm getting ready to make, you need counseling, you need to sit down, you need to isolate yourself, and you need to find yourself. If you cannot honestly say that I can be happy and fulfilled in my life as an individual if I never have a relationship with a man or a woman, you're not healthy yet. Because when you get healthy, it is your connection and your relationship with God and your sense of purpose that brings you fulfillment. You see, you have to be fulfilled before you really even qualify for a relationship. Why would you be an unhappy person entering the world with all of this desperation and think that a well-adjusted, happy, fulfilled person is going to be attracted to a person that's desperate and unhappy? You're only going to attract, sick people will only attract sick people. This is why, and it's the codependent thing. This is why you always seem to attract these. I always get a narcissist and I always get a user. Well, if you're always catching dogs, you might be a dog catcher, right? That's the energy that you're entering the world with. If you want to attract better, you have to first be better. We don't get what we hope for or wish or desire, we get what we are. And if you are desperate and you're entering the world, it's completely unproductive because you're only going to get people that are on that frequency. When you really enter the world, hey, listen to me. This is especially, well, not, I was going to say especially for the sisters, but even for the brothers. Because we got some good brothers that, you got everything going on, but you just lack confidence. But I was getting ready to say to the women, if you enter in the world with this desperate thing, and I'll do anything for a man, and whatever you want me to do, I'm gonna do. I just want a man. I just want a, babe, you ain't gonna never attract no king with that. Kings are not looking for no desperate little queens. Queens are not desperate. Queens are conscious. Queens know who they are. They know what they're working with. They know their value, and they are not going on sale. They are not gonna let you mark the price down. They're entering the world with that kind of confidence. Therefore, they can attract healthy people because they are healthy. They are confident. They have a sense of self-love. See, great relationships are developed by two people who love themselves properly. Who have what? The connection, the God connection. Two people that have loved God with all their hearts. And out of their love for God, God has taught them to love themselves. And now these two people enter the world and they attract people of like kind. So you have a whole man and a whole woman coming together to create a whole relationship. You can't create no whole relationship when you are desperate. Desperate people don't even negotiate. See, when you're desperate, you go on the car lot, don't go to the car lot if you're desperate. Don't go to the car lot if you're desperate. You out here buying real estate. You got to look at what these markets are like, and you desperate people to take and they'll sell you a house for $50,000, $60,000 above the appraised value of the house because you're desperate. Now you got to figure out how you're gonna come up with all this extra money because you was desperate. You really don't attract the right stuff to you until you're qualified to walk away from some stuff. You can't attract until you're willing to walk away from some stuff. But you can't walk away from some stuff as long as you're desperate. And you have to ask yourself, now, where did this desperation come from? For women, a lot of times, it's the father wound. In fact, for the men as well. Your father didn't make the right deposit, so you're lacking identity. You need a man. You want a relationship with a man to give you a sense of identity, security, and all of that kind of thing. Society has filled your soul with lies, because you weigh this amount on the scale, you're unattractive, or because you're this age, you hit the wall, you've run over the cliff or whatever, and you buying into all of this stuff, or because you're this complexion, or because you're that race, or if you're a man, because you're not 6, feet tall with 6 figures in a 6-pack, you don't qualify, you're not a high value man, you're not a high value woman. And this is what the world has told you, and you've been indoctrinated by the world. The problem with indoctrination is that indoctrination is different from education. If I'm educating you, I'm giving you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I'm allowing you to do with it what you will in your life. When I'm indoctrinating you, when I'm educating you, I'm teaching you how to think. When I'm indoctrinating you, I'm teaching you what to think. And the world has indoctrinated many of you, and you've believed it. Therefore, you're showing up in the world a whole 10, but you have the mindset of a 2 because of the indoctrinations you've believed. And so now you're desperate. You're desperate when you should be calling shots. Woo! And that's the key for some of you brothers. You're a great guy and all of this. You make good money. You love God. You're actually handsome and all of this kind of thing. But you can't seem to attract the right kind of woman. You showing up with a desperate, lack of confidence kind of energy in the world. No woman is going to be attracted to a man that's showing up like that. You can be great, but if you don't have confidence, and if you like, okay, I'll be a doormat for you, whatever you, I just want a woman, I'll be a doormat for you. No woman in her right mind wants a little simp, a little man that she can just push around. She wants a king that's gonna respect her as a queen, and the two can come together and build an empire. But if you're showing up with all of that lack of confidence and desperate and putting up with stuff, woman talking to you like you're a child, you'll never attract the right kind of woman with that, man. Because desperation is always unproductive. It's just a bad look. It's just a bad look. And I say that especially speaking to the sisters because, you know, with a man, when a man is desperate, the world pretty much just rejects him. When a woman is desperate, the world abuses, distorts, disfigures her. The world toys with a woman that's desperate. With a man, the world just says, no, no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you, won't have any. But with a woman, the world will toy with her and play with her and break her and disfigure her and reform her into something that she won't even recognize, and the world will use her up for her value. You cannot afford to be out here in these streets as a woman desperate. Break her and trash her. That's exactly right. A man, the world just says no, but with a woman, the world will toy with you and act like it loves you, act like it wants you, use you up. See, because you have to understand, the thing women are not getting today is that with all of the stuff, diamonds, gold, oil, silver, platinum, whatever, crypto, whatever you want to call it, there's nothing on the planet that is more valuable, desired by a man than a woman. That's the, men want money, men want power so they can attract women. Now here's the problem. Men have to pay for the cars, pay for the houses, they have to pay for the diamonds and the gold. And because the woman has been broken and the woman suffers from broken consciousness, the most priceless item on the man's agenda, many times he gets for nothing because the world has conditioned her to be desperate and to sell. So the world takes a woman the world takes a Chanel bag off of a Neiman Marcus shelf, transports it across town, brings it to a Walmart, puts it on a Walmart shelf and marks the price down because the world takes your desperation to squander your value. And as long as you sit here and as long as you play around with your self-esteem and you don't go home and do your work and you out here in these streets half naked with all your personality hanging all out for the world to see, the world is sniffing out your desperation. Your dress code is a sign of if you are desperate or not. If you out here in these streets naked, that ain't confidence, that's desperation. No woman in her right mind goes out in the street naked. No woman in her right mind goes out in the street naked. We can see all through your clothes. You desperate. You doing anything. You're doing anything because the world has made you believe that this is what you got to do to be recognized. And you got to ask yourself, what am I being recognized for when I behave like that? You're not being recognized for your soul, your spirit, your inner qualities, your inner beauty. You're being recognized for your body. And babe, that don't last but a couple of weekends. What you gonna do when all of that stuff goes south? Father Time is undefeated. You gonna lay on a certain table all you want, have every procedure under the book. You're gonna end up looking like a Frankenstein situation. What are you gonna do when the looks are gone? What is gonna be left for the world to respect? Why don't you lead with the parts of you that are gonna be enduring? But when you get desperate, You can't hear me tell you that, babe, you need to have values. You need to have standards. You need to lead with your intelligence. You need to lead with your, with your spirit. You can't hear that. It's the inner beauty that's going to attract to you what you're really looking for. See, you ain't just looking for a man. You're looking for a husband. You're looking for a king. You're looking for somebody that's going to honor you, put you on his arm and say, this is my wife for life. You ain't looking for no one-night stand, man just bouncing up and down on your body, using you, then you can't even get him on the phone the next day. That ain't what you looking for. But with the desperation you operating with now, that's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get. You ain't got to get naked to be sexy. You ain't got to get naked to be sexy. I'm sorry. You go down and let one of these stylists take you. They can show you. You can show off your full femininity without being naked. Why you want to get naked? Why are you comfortable coming out here in these streets all over this Instagram naked? Why? Why? We can see you ain't got nothing on up under this thing. You got so many slits and cuts and then see-through stuff. You're desperate. You're desperate. And it ain't serving you well. It's not serving you well. We know you haven't done your we know you haven't done your inner work. And see, you got father wounds, you got all these lies you've believed, and then you got these toxic circles. I'm talking to women now, where it's just a gang of y'all, all of y'all desperate, all of y'all doing whatever it takes to get, a man to whistle at you or holler at you. And all you're gonna get out of that is sex. Maybe something you got to go to the doctor to get rid of if you can get rid of it. And it's just a gang of y'all. It's a toxic sisterhood. And one encouraging the other. It's like a bunch of people riding around in a van all day long, all of them broke with bad credit, and they riding around in a van all day counseling one another. And then they wonder why 5 years later they all still in the same position. That's what a whole lot of you women got going on. You surrounded by women that are just as clueless as you. You need to probably, sanitize your circle, up your game. You don't only need a next level man. You don't only need a high value man. You need a high value circle. You need women that's operating on the next level. You want to be a wife? Find you some sisters that have been successfully wifed. Got husbands that really honor them and love them. Every man out here ain't no dog. It's the ones you come in contact with, because all you searching for, you in the club all night. What you think you're gonna come out of there with? You need a next level circle. You desperate because you surrounded by a bunch of desperate people. It's like, it's like somebody shouting out fire in the movie theater. Everybody just go to running because that's a group thinking situation. Or if you surrounded by a bunch of desperate women, you're screaming fire, 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 fire all day. What you think you're gonna be? You're gonna be desperate. And they're gonna teach you how to do anything a man wants you to do. This is how a PhD woman is manipulated by a GED man. The world makes you desperate, that you don't see your true value and what you actually worth. So now you get a little man that can't read his name on the side of a football stadium, and he can take and manage you because you're desperate. Desperation is never productive. You got to encircle yourself, encase yourself with the right kind of women. You need women that's going to tell you, sweetheart, either your dress, either you're too large for your dress or your dress is too small for you. Either way it goes, the two of you don't go together. You need something more appropriate than that. You need women that are going to tell you, don't call me no more telling me about a man that abused you, took your money, put his hands on you, slept with your neighbors and all of this kind of stuff, and you constantly crying, talking about I love him. Love yourself. You around here crying about a man that abused you, talking about you love him, The appropriate question is, do you love you? How am I going to be around here crying about somebody that abused me and broke me? The real question is, do I love me? Well, you need that kind of circle that's going to be right up in your face, tell you the absolute whole truth, and then wrap their arms around you and show you compassion and all of that. But you don't need no circle that's going to enable your foolishness. You need somebody that's going to pull you up out of this, because you're in a bad way right now. And you out here looking bad, honestly. You out here looking bad. I'm looking at some of y'all. You out here looking bad. You got boss chick and all that, but babe, you take that off there. You ain't no boss. Anytime you got people managing your emotions, you ain't no boss. Take that off. You don't need to use that no more. You ain't no boss chick. Anytime you got people around here puppet stringing your emotions, you are not no boss chick. You are not no boss chick. You are female slave conditioned. You are puppet. Change boss to puppet. Puppet chick. Puppet chick. Because desperation is completely unproductive. Confidence is everything. Confidence is everything. You want to be attractive. You know, I see women that say, well, you know, the world has its standards. I don't subscribe to those standards of, you know, beauty is this or beauty is that. No such thing, man. No such thing. You know, I guess if you subscribe to, you know, certain segments of society, I guess you got to live within their rules. But for me, you know, no such thing. But you have people who hit all of the marks of what the typical standards of beauty are supposed to be for a woman. And these women many times can't get a man. And they've been desperate for a man since they were little teenagers. They can't get a man, can't get a solid relationship, can't get nobody to commit. You know, they the right size, they the right this, they the right that, they the right that. Then you got another woman who they say, okay, well, she's too big, she's too this, she's too that, she's too this, that. And that woman got one man, that didn't work out. She got rid of him. She married another man. He died. Now she got another man. And the world says she's not the standard of beauty, or whatever the world says, you know, a woman got to be. But she got 3 different men, and you got these other women over here who can't find one man. And these are the women they'll put on the magazine cover. Can't find one man. What's the difference? Confidence. Confidence. The other woman wasn't desperate. She knew who she was. She walked into the room like that. Every man is not just looking at, you know, all of this, external stuff. See, because when kings get ready to choose queens, this is something y'all believe. Y'all believe that all dudes are driven by the visual. Of course, as men, we are visual, but we're not ultimately driven by those superficial external things. Because when a man is choosing a woman, he's choosing a woman that he can what? Reign with, build a kingdom with. You look at the chessboard, if any of you know how to play chess, the most active and dangerous piece on the board is the queen. The king, he moves one little space at a time. One little space at a time. But he got a queen next to him. She can go all the way across that board. Any direction she want to go. She can go all the way across that board. And she just all over. And she's dangerous. She can attack, because kings always choose women that are powerful. You're not powerful if I can manage you because you're desperate. I think I've said enough. I got it out. I said what I want to say. So I think I'm done. Now listen, tonight, 8 o'clock, we're talking about the war between men and women. I want you to meet me. I think it's going to be some good information that is going to help you in a lot of ways. And invite some others to come in and to be a part of our conversation tonight, right here for 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you all for hanging out with me this afternoon in my impromptu presentation. I I'm really grateful that you all came in and hollered at me. Dr. CC, God bless you. Uh, yeah, go and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the little bell to notify you when we come live. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tonight for 8 o'clock. It's going to be amazing. I promise you. And so, hey, I love y'all. Hope I ain't made you mad. Not really. I'm glad I made you mad. If you're mad, you needed to hear this. I want y'all to have a great, great, great afternoon. And I look forward to seeing you tonight for 8 o'clock. See this lady right here, the T on NPD and relationships. Y'all need to follow her. All of y'all that want information constantly relative to narcissistic relationships and how to survive and deal with that stuff, follow that lady right there. I'm going to have her channel not long from now, hopefully, where she can just really expound and open up her heart and share with us some of the things that God has given her. She's an amazing woman. So I love you all. Look forward to seeing you tonight for 8 o'clock. God bless you. Have a great one now.